Well, I want to talk to you about a song that I wonder now if the sort of the structure of it would even work anymore. The song "If This Is It"
Oh yeah,
that begins with a guitar solo,
yeah,
and
right.
now people don't have the balls to do that. They don't have the
True.
balls to start with a guitar solo.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Like, was that always the concept of the song, or when it was written, it was like, well, we need something to kind of like bring in, some guitar.
So that was Johnny Cola's baby, and he would write songs and he would pour over them for a long time. I mean, he's into the craft.
Yeah,
he's like the antithesis of me. I just jot stuff down and then move on to the next thing. He's like, he'll take something and work on it for months.
Right.
So anyway, and it's a great song.
Right. It's got a little doo-wop kind of thing.
Yeah. There are a lot of elements in there that are really nice. And because of his perseverance and his dedication to, working on things over and over again, he put together a great song. It's a really good song. I don't think that it was intended for it to be any sort of guitar thing, but it just ended up that, I just played the guitar part and it ended up being the intro to the song.
Yeah.
I just played some stuff on it, and then I guess he liked it, and then because it could have been something else, but I guess it didn't really want to put saxophone on it,
right?
So it ended up being a guitar solo, and the intro is kind of a iconic sort of thing. I mean, it really is.
Yeah. So do you think it was originally when you played it that it was just done as like a guitar solo that would come later in the song, and they ended up saying like, oh, we're going to actually move this to the front?
No. I think we started out with it with the guitar intro like that. So it was definitely a thing, and then the video was really a cool video that we did down in Santa Cruz with Ed Grimes.
Right. Is this the one where Huey's like buried in the sand? On the boardwalk.
Yeah, and I think that had a lot to do also with the whole, and it was on Sports, which is one of our bigger records, and it was the second single, I think, on Sports.
Yeah.
So, because we had the momentum going with Heart and Soul, If This Is It became, also a very big hit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it charted at number 1 or not, though, but it was definitely top 5, I think, Billboard. I'm not sure what happened with that one.
I think... Yeah, it was definitely charted.
It charted on the Billboard charts because it got a lot of airplay.
In MTV, I think it was also extremely popular because of the video.
The video made it super popular because of all the funny. Yeah. Because we made funny videos back then, and MTV was in its prime.
Yeah.
And it was a great time.
Yeah.
To be in the music business, it was pretty much golden times because you had MTV was huge in the promotion of music and pop music. And if you were making good videos, you were going to have success with your music. That was what it had become.
Yeah.
Because people obviously still listen to the radio, and they still do to this day, but MTV had become the predominant promotion source for all the music.
Yeah.
And that was Les Garland out of San Francisco, KFRC, where we got our start.
Yeah.
It actually started MTV with a couple other guys. I'm not familiar with them, but I know about Les Garland. So,
well, do you remember much about what you used for like that intro part?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you really. I mean, it's probably a Marshall. I can look it up and see if we have it in the notes. I think it was probably a Marshall and a Les Paul.
Yeah,
and some chorusing probably. And some reverb.
Yeah.
And
do you think once it got into like the first verse that it was Strat then, or do you think it was still in the Les?
Well, there wasn't. If you listen to it, there aren't a lot of guitar tracks in the verse. I don't think there are any. And I had to actually play something that wasn't on the record. I just played like just basically what the keyboards were playing. I just doubled what he was doing because there wasn't really any room for, because it's really a lyric driven song.
You get a guitar solo though.
I do get a good guitar solo. And recently, so I have made a new friend, Paul Sidoti.
Who
plays guitar with Taylor Swift. Right. And he got in touch with me when the guys did like Good Morning America or something, when they were promoting their last record that they were trying to get going. And and he went to Huey and said, "Man, you got to get me Chris Hayes' number, man. I want to get in touch with him." So Huey gave him my number, and he texts me and says, "Hey, man, I'm a big fan, blah, blah, blah. I'm Taylor Swift's guitar player." And I'm like, "Is this for real?" And so I text him back, and we start texting back and forth. And then I said, "Yeah, well, when my son's living in Nashville, when I get to Nashville, we got to get together."
Yeah. So
I went down there, and he said, "Well, you got to come to a Taylor Swift show."
Yeah.
I went, "Okay, I will." So anyway, he invites me and my wife and my daughter to this over there at the Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah, in Nashville. Okay.
In Nashville. Yeah. It was great.
I bet it was.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And she puts on a great show.
Sure.
And Paul, turns out, is the greatest guy in the world. He's a sweetheart, and he's been a huge Huey Lewis and the News fan since he was a kid.
Yeah.
Which is, bless his heart. He's just awesome, So, and he ended up doing a version of "If This Is It" with, who Brian White is?
No.
Brian White is a singer that sang with Shania.
Okay.
Did a duet with Shania in the 90s.
Okay.
And it was a pretty big hit.
Okay.
And his son is a singer.
Okay.
And his son did a version of "If This Is It." I'll play it for you later. It's really good.
Awesome.
But it's modern, but it's also an homage to the song, because and then Paul plays a solo on it.
Yeah.
And it's my guitar solo, note for note.
Good.
I was like, man,
it's a great solo.
You could have made it a lot better, because you're a lot better than I am, But he didn't. He just played it note for note. It was so cool.
So are we going to get to hear a little of the solo today, or do you want to?
I can try it.
All right.
I don't know what's going to happen.
All right. Well, let's call it up, and let's see
if we can do it. Yeah.
You want to try the solo?
Sure, let's try it, see what happens. I might fall on my ass, but let's do it. Just say so. That's funny. Oh, my Lord.
Perfect.
That's good. It's got a good mistake in the end.
It's all right.
I probably punched it.